What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing them the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Sunday. It is Father's Day. It is June 15th. We are back. If you're new to the channel, this is your first look at the entire day. So what kind of differentiates ourselves from other people? We're going to go game by game. We're going to look at the pitchers, the batters, the historical matchups, the BVP. We're going to look at batter splits. We're going to look at it all. It's Sunday, so sit back and relax because hopefully you learned something. If you're new to the channel and you have not already subscribed, helping out the channel by just subscribing, watching the entirety of this video a couple times a day, clicking on the ads, sharing the videos, help out so much more than you guys probably understand. If you're, a returning customer or visitor, viewer, subscriber, whatever you want to call yourselves, you guys know the drill. We're going to hopefully kill it for you. It is Sunday. We're going to give you your first look. So we've already done 10,000 simulations in the background. So everything we're about to talk about is through 10,000 simulations. And usually about an hour before the main slate locks each and every day, we've updated to 20,000 sims to give you guys an update of the plays and the projections and simulations and everything like that. Another thing, we try to have giveaways every single day. There's 2 ways to win, hopefully every day. First way, you got to like the video, you got to be a subscriber, and you got to leave a comment. You do all of those, and this video right here gets at least 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports that we do. The current sports are MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and MMA. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you will have a shot at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, you will have a shot at a lifetime pass worth $500. Now, we do have that Father's Day special going on. We got 5 spots available. If you email me right now, dfshelp1@gmail.com, if you've been on the fence about it, instead of $199 for the yearly pass, you can get it for $99. 5 coupon codes are available. First come, first serve. So what I want to do is we're going to see who the 2 winners or possibly the 1 winner is from Saturday's video. You guys absolutely killed it. Over 100 likes. So this person right here is going to win a free month of FTA+. Even if the keyword is in here, we're still going to re-roll it. There you go. Warren Gaines, 7433. Congratulations. I don't know if you've won before, so please email me. The email is in the description of this video. Let me know if you have a username on the website. Put the subject line as you are the 614 video views winner. And then if you do have an account on the site, let us know. If you do not have an account on Fantasy Team Advisors, let me know a username, an email, and a password. We will get you set up for your free month. Now, second way to win is somewhere in the video there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Yesterday's keyword was fight or fighting or some sort of, pluralization of that word. So it was not in this comment. So we are going to re-roll it. And the winner here will get a free week. So let's see who the winner of the keyword is. Danny, if you would have had that in there, you are welcome for the info, but if you would have had it in there, you would have a free week right there. And that's how easy it is, guys. You just got to make sure it's in your comment. Just popped in, checking out your video now. Thanks for info. Stay great. Rez, you stay great. You didn't have the keyword? Let's go, guys. Let's lock it in. Let's find this keyword winner so we can move on. There you go. B. Fowler. I think it's been a very long time since you've won. You are welcome for the breakdown. You know the drill. Email me, subject line. You are 614 keyword winner, and let me know your username on the website. So that being said, we've got an article right here. It is linked right down below. You can check out all of that and more on the website. So you can go to MLB tab and you can go all the way down. Check everything out. Whatever sport you're playing, you can check it out. So that being said, we are going to use Outlier to look at all the games. Now, if you are questioning what Outlier is, the link is in the description to sign up. And if you do that, you're going to get a 7-day free trial to their pro package. Go through 7 days. If you like it, subscribe. You can either subscribe to their normal package. If you use them, we are going to give you a free week of FTA+. If you do their pro package using our link and show proof, we're going to give you a free month. So being a Sunday, we've got the very early game for whatever reason, the Roku game or whatever we're calling it this year. It's like an hour before the main slate or an hour and a half before the main slate. So that's the Reds at the Tigers. So we're not going to break that down because that's not on the slate that we're going to talk about. We're going to do the main slate. Then they've got a 2-game afternoon slate, which is kind of pointless, but we're still going to go over it. And then you got your Sunday Night Baseball between the Dodgers and the Giants. So we are going to have a separate Sunday night breakdown for that video where we use SaberSim, and we build you some lineups there as well. So be on the lookout for that video. It might be live depending on when you watch this video. So we are going to look at the first game. We've got Colorado at Atlanta being the first game on the docket. Now we look at this. It is Austin Gomber versus Chris Sale. I love Chris Sale as the picture of the video in the article. Gomber coming off the IL, I think making his debut because they sent down Carson Palmquist. So Gomber has not fared well this year. In his career against the Braves, 67 plate appearances, 267. So what I would be doing is, this is why we use Outlier, but you can go in and you can click on it, and you can go into the game here, and you can see the breakdown. So you can see the pitchers, how they've done, the batters, right-handedness, BVP. This is why we love it. And I have had people ask me, like, why? What is going on? Why do you, if I use Outlier, why would they need me? Outlier is a great starting point, but it doesn't have the projections that you're looking for. It doesn't have the simulations, the matchup tool, the stolen base targets. It is a good starting point for your lineups, which is great. If you need nothing else, that's awesome. But this is a starting point for you. We have so much more for $10 a week if you want to check us out. So using this, Chris Sale has already faced them before once. I'm not using Gomber, but Sale this year, 7 innings in that game, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks, 28.8. Basically for DraftKings, we need about minimum of 25 fantasy points. Fanduel, basically a minimum of 45 to 50, because in theory on DraftKings, we need to hit 50 fantasy points between 2 pitchers. Now, Chris Sale is on fire. I did see something, an article where it was asking, should the Braves look at a possibility of trading Chris Sale? I think they should. The Braves are so far behind. He's doing really well. He did obviously well last year. Kind of started off slow this year, and he's back to being himself. Now, I'm wrong sometimes. Some of these games I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong about this one. I'm looking for him to kind of compete and kind of mirror what he did against the Braves last time. So Braves bats against Gomber. Like, you do see Austin Riley as a home run. That is it. You see lefties, though. They don't hit as well, but I'm still looking at Ronald Acuna. Only batting 143, but I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Sean Murphy, Marcell Ozuna, Ozzie Albies, Matt Olson. These are the guys I'm looking at, along with Acuna, or maybe possibly Michael Harris. Depends if you guys need a 5th guy to make a full complete stack there. So in this game, I'm using Chris Sale, and I am using the Braves as a stack. So I did forget to mention, after we get done with every game. Now, there's weather concern in Atlanta and Washington and Baltimore, so there's some weather concern today. But after we get done going through these games, we're then going to go through 10,000 sims. We're going to give you our matchup tool. So all of the batters have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating in that matchup tool. Then we're going to do our Pitches Be Crazy segment, where we look at the pitchers and the best pitchers available against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. So we'll look at those. And then finally, we're going to do our Makin Bacon bets, where we look at some of our favorite bets that we think could get 2+ bases for the day, or strikeouts for some pitchers. So looking at Miami at Washington, you got Yuri Perez, who's making his 2nd start of the year. Splits-wise, 1 game, didn't do well against Pittsburgh. And that was against Pittsburgh. They're a very bad team. I used him. I have him on my season-long team. It did not work out. 2 walks is great. 5 strikeouts is great, but the 4 earned runs, that tanked our lineup. 5.2 out of your pitcher at 7,000, not enough. Now he's going up against Washington. In his career, 24 plate appearances, 0.95 batting average. I don't know if he's on some sort of workload. He had 70 pitches in that game. He's just making his way back. He didn't pitch last year. So, and Washington can hit. So, in tournaments, I'll have him in some of them because he's under 7K. He's had success against this team in the past, but he did not look good his last start. And then Mackenzie Gore is just on fire. He's already faced Miami once this year. Actually had a pretty bad outing there. 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 7 Ks. We're used to seeing 13+ Ks out of him in some of these games. They just had his number for whatever reason. If I were to take a pitcher, I think both are probably tournament only. Mackenzie Gore, he can shove. We know he can shove. We're very aware what he's been able to do in the past. It does scare me a little bit because he is so expensive, and Miami just seems to hit when we want to pitch against them. So, yeah, you look at like Miami bats against him. No one's hit a home run, but if we look at against lefties this year, they don't do as well, but you got Myers batting 372. You got Kyle Stowers batting 352, which we like. Wagaman batting 280 with a couple of bombs. Augustin Ramirez batting 250 with 3 home runs. I would look at these guys. These are probably the ones I'm looking at. Washington bats against Perez. Like I said, they've not had a ton of success. C.J. Abrams 1 for 8 with a home run. Jacob Young 1 for 1. That's it. Against righties, though, this year, you can see C.J. Abrams batting 291. You've got Josh Bell batting 215. Does hit better against righties. Luis Garcia 279. You guys know I'm a sucker for Nate Lowe against a righty. 240 batting average, 8 home runs. James Wood 287 with 12 bombs. Like, these are the guys I'm looking at if I'm playing this game here. I don't think I'm going to have the pitching. I think, obviously, I'm going to go more Washington, but I think Miami could be a stack as well there. That's kind of one that I would look at while building lineups here. So the next game we are going to jump into, LA at Baltimore. Another rain concern here. LA is the team that strikes out the most. They strike out over 9.5 times a game. You got Yusei Kikuchi versus Cade Povich. Now, both of them, not really exciting numbers here. Probably not using them for DFS purposes. Povich comes in with a 5.90 ERA. Splits-wise, he's not faced the Angels this year. When he pitches at home, he's got a 7.59 ERA. Angels aren't a good team overall, but I don't trust the pitching here. Then you got Kikuchi. He comes in. Now, Baltimore's a very bad team as well. But yeah, so I'm looking at that. And 29.3 against the Athletics is a great number. We used him against the Athletics. We also used him against Boston, and it backfired against us because his 5 walks took away so many fantasy points. So in my mind, I'm probably avoiding this game pitching-wise. Probably just looking at the bats. So the bats I would use, Angels bats against Povich, just kind of looking, they've never seen him before. So advantage, who knows who advantage it is. But we'll look at the bats against lefties. Travis d'Arnaud batting 333, Logan O'Hoppe batting 360. Again, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but Sundays are usually the days of rest for catchers. I would fully expect to see Logan O'Hoppe out here, but I do like his numbers here. Then you kind of look at like Mike Trout batting 263, but has 0 home runs against lefties this year. Joe Adell only batting 147 with 2 bombs. Zach Neto batting 250 with 3 home runs. That's basically league average. So I do not mind an Angel stack here. Baltimore side against Kikuchi, like Urias has 2 home runs. Westberg, Carlson both have a home run. Adley Rutschman has 3 bombs. He's batting 346 against Kikuchi. Whatever reason, he sees him very well. I would look at Adley Rutschman as my top Baltimore bat. I'm probably looking at Ryan O'Hearn. Urias I'm looking at. Dylan Carlson I'm looking at. Cedric Mullins. I think Mullins had a home run on Saturday. I would look at these guys. So I'm avoiding the pitching. I'm looking at the bats. I think this could be a high-scoring game. You can see Vegas right now thinks the over-under is 9, which I could see more than that. So that is where I'd go in that game. So the next game's Yankees at Boston. You've got Brian Bayo versus Max Fried. Now, Bayo, on the other hand, what did he pitch last Monday? Something like that. He's not faced the Yankees this year. When he pitches at home, he's got a 4 ERA. He pitched on the 9th. He has not done well. He's got less than 11 fantasy points his last 3 games. He's given up at least 3 earned runs in his 2 games. One against Tampa Bay. Offense is terrible. The Angels, he gave up 3 earned runs in that game. Strikeouts numbers are low here. This sets up well for Max Fried and the Yankees. That's kind of where I'm probably looking. So I'm probably looking at Max Fried against Boston, and then I'm looking at the Yankees as a stack here against Bayo. Now, I could be wrong. We could see Boston just dominate here. I don't think so, but we could. Against Bayo here, Cody Bellinger has 2 home runs. Volpe has a home run. Aaron Judge isn't doing well against him, but he's a stud. But, you look at this. Overall, like, you're using Judge. He's batting over 390. Trent Grisham, Jason Dominguez, Cody Bellinger, Ben Rice, DJ LeMahieu's actually been pretty on fire. A cheaper option that we aren't used to. It's a Sunday, so we might see Jazz Chisholm in there. We might see Pablo Reyes, hopefully not. Kind of see the lineup that comes in. I don't mind Austin Wells either. Against righties this year, 211 batting average, but he has 6 home runs. So a full Yankee stack in Max Fried is probably where I'm going in this game. Next one is Toronto at Philly. Good to go weather-wise. It should be good. We got Barrios versus Zach Wheeler. Overall, Zach Wheeler comes in. He's averaging 24.1, 2.85 ERA, 23.1 his last start against the Cubs. Looking against Philly, he has not faced them this year. But we can look at him in this game against Toronto in his career. 55 plate appearances, 231 batting average. So, I mean, not a ton of success. That's what, like 3 to 4 starts, give or take, if he makes it like 5 or 6 innings each start. Barrios, on the other end, 77 plate appearances, 250 batting average. So Zach Wheeler's expensive, but he's bringing it lately. Barrios, he's kind of been up and down. When he pitches at home, he's got a 4.05, but when he's on the road, he's got a 2.50. He already faced Philly once this year, went 6 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. 17.9 is a little bit lower than I would enjoy, but it was 2 starts ago. 2 starts at home. Now he pitches better on the road for whatever reason. It's been a couple of games since he's hit value. Obviously, we need 20, 25 plus. Kind of always scares me. In my mind, they just saw him recently, so how are they going to react? How are they going to set up for success against them? How are they going to dominate him this time when they didn't last time? It's always in the back of my mind when I'm building my lineups. So we'll kind of look at that real quick. And like just looking at like Toronto bats against Wheeler, like Guerrero has a home run and Heineman has a home run against right-handed pitchers this year. So if you are going against Wheeler because he is so expensive, like Alejandro Kirk is batting 322 with 4 bombs. Barger is 7 bombs. Bo Bichette batting 281 with 7 bombs. Andres Jimenez batting 234. I'm probably off of him. Guerrero batting 261. Only has 5 home runs against righties, though. But George Springer down there, 267 batting average, 6 home runs. A couple of cheaper options would be Clase or Luke's if you're trying. Philly bats, if they do get to Barrios, like Castellanos has 2 home runs. Bryson Stott has a home run. Against righties, they are mashing this year. Real Muto batting 293, Alec Bohm batting 285, which you can use first base and third base eligible, I think, on both sites. Bryson Stott batting 242, Brandon Marsh batting 255, like Trey Turner batting 293, Castellanos batting 276. Philly makes sense as a 2+ stack here, meaning I like more than 5 guys on Philly. We can only stack a total of 5 on DraftKings. Got to have multiple different stacks here, so 2+ for Philly here. So and I could be wrong, but I personally am leaning more towards Wheeler over Barrios and then Philly bats over Toronto. So the next game, Tampa Bay at New York Mets. It is a pitcher's ballpark. We all know this with the size of the stadium. You got Griffin Canning versus Shane Baz. Both are averaging less than 15 fantasy points a game, which we don't really like to see. Like I said, you want a 20+ average here for the most part for the majority of the salary players here. Honestly, I don't think I've used either of these pitchers a ton this year. Ever so often I will. So just looking at like Griffin Canning comes in with a 3.22 ERA. Splits-wise, he has not faced Tampa Bay this year. Tampa Bay's offense overall is not as good, so I do give him a plus here. And it's a huge pitcher's ballpark. You see 7 games started. He's got a 3.94 ERA, so he has been worse at home. Game logs, coming off a terrible game. He did have a great game against the Dodgers, which just makes no sense at all. White Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, good against Chicago, good against Arizona. Been up and down. I will take exposure to him in tournaments because, again, pitcher's ballpark, Tampa Bay's offense is kind of lackluster this year overall. Then you got Shane Baz, almost a 5 ERA. Splits-wise, has not faced the Mets. The Mets obviously are a really good hitting team. When he pitches on the road, a 4.40 ERA, which is still high compared to 5.36 in that minor league ballpark they play in this year in Tampa. So we look at this. Then we look at the bats. So we come down here. We can look at which bats we like for Tampa Bay at the New York Mets. So looking at the bats, if you were going to go against Griffin Canning, you want Tampa Bay just because Jonathan Aranda, I would look at. He's had a home run against him. Brandon Lau has also had a home run. But against right-handed pitchers, they're actually pretty decent. Caminero batting 254. I believe he had at least 1 home run on Saturday. Brandon Lau has 11 bombs, batting 287 against righties this year. Jake Mangum batting 324 with a home run. Everyone's going to be on maybe Matt Thaiss or Danny Jansen, depending on who the starter is. You could look there. Yandy Diaz batting 280, 6 bombs. You could look at them. I think it'll be a very low-owned stack today. Then Mets against Shane Baz. I mean, Juan Soto's 3 for 4 with a home run. That is it. Alvarez batting 265. against righties, 2 home runs. He'll probably start today. Pete Alonso batting over 300 with 14 home runs. Lindor batting 281 with 10 bombs. Nimmo and Soto both have 10 home runs. Like, a Mets stack makes a ton of sense here. I'm going to be avoiding the pitching. I will go with a couple of the Mets. I'll have a little bit of Tampa Bay as a stack, but I think the majority of it will be, for sure, Mets 100%. Probably 2 different ones. Or multiple different stacks. I don't know if it's going to be 2 or more, but that's what I would look at. Minnesota at Houston is next. We've got Brandon Walter versus Simeon Woods Richardson. I thought they must have just called Woods Richardson back up then. Wait. Okay, I was going to say. They sent him down. He was gone for about 3 weeks, came back, gave up a ton of runs there, going up against Houston. I want nothing to do with him. Like, he's had good stuff in the past. It's just almost a 6 ERA. Walter, on the other hand, he comes in decent. I mean, his price is now skyrocketed up to 7,500. Tournaments I'm okay with, but at his price, he's not really hitting value. That's kind of what I would look at there. Probably leaning more towards just the bats over taking the pitchers in this one. So, looking at the bats that have had success. 1 start, Buxton, 333 batting average, 1 home run against him. Was that his last start? No, that was whenever he pitched, probably out of the bullpen. But against lefties this year, like you're seeing Willie Castro batting 308, Carlos Correa batting 295, Royce Lewis batting 276, but he's really fallen off this year, so I don't know if I trust him. Byron Buxton batting 306, I love here. Always love me some Trevor Larnach. I know he's only batting 167 against lefties, but if he's in there, might take a flyer on him. Ryan Jeffers, last year, we took him against lefties all the time. Now he's only batting 217. Really has, maybe they found him out or figured him out. I don't know. Ty France is another one that I would look at there. Houston bats against Woods Richardson, like Caratini has a home run. Against righties, Isaac Paredes, if he's in there, batting 267 with 13 bombs. I don't know if is he playing or is he still day-to-day? Day-to-day. Yeah, he might not play this game. Yeah, he's probably out. He won't play. I doubt he plays. He might even be put on the IL before we even know it. So if I'm looking at something like Christian Walker, I would look at Jose Altuve. I would look at Cam Smith. I would look at probably Yainer Diaz here and Jeremy Pena if I'm going Houston as a stack there. And if you guys can hear my 11-month-old screaming, he found his voice. That's all I can say. The keyword of the day, you guys are going to like this. It's Father's Day. So the keyword of the day is daddy. I want you guys to say daddy. And I wanted to ASMR whisper daddy to you. That's the keyword, daddy. I gotcha. No worries. All right, Athletics at Kansas City is the next game. We're going to bring it up here. And my toddler has made it into the kitchen because he started crawling, which I'm so super pumped about. So you got Noah Cameron versus Jeffrey Springs. So Cameron did just get hit by the Yankees the other day. 6 earned runs, the game I was supposed to be at, but I didn't go when I was supposed to be there. He's had great stuff. Still a sub 2.20 ERA, even with giving up 6 earned runs. Like is he regressing? Was he pitching maybe over his talent? Maybe. This is the Athletics. They are a pretty good hitting team. They have not seen him this year. 2.17 ERA. Jeffrey Springs comes in against Kansas City. Splits-wise, he has not faced Kansas City this year. Only 7 plate appearances. So they really haven't seen anything. He's 6,500. He's got a 4.6 ERA. Tournaments I'm okay with because like the Angels in Minnesota, he had pretty good numbers there. They've dropped his price down. I don't know if I want anything to do with this game right now. I think I'll have both pitchers for tournaments. I think Springs makes a little bit more sense because he's $2,900 cheaper. But I'll have a little bit of Noah Cameron. At the moment, through 10,000 sims looking in the background, I don't want anything to do with this game offensively. Now, after 20,000 sims, there might be something to look at. Right now, I'm just moving on to the next game. St. Louis at Milwaukee. Now, I will tell you, I looked at the numbers. I'm full on Milwaukee stack against Michaelis. He has not faced them this year, okay? But he's got a 4.48 ERA. Looking at this, when he pitches on the road, he's got a 3.97, but game logs coming off. We stacked Toronto against him, 6 earned runs. He's given up a ton of runs here. If you look at his numbers, 121 plate appearances, 218 batting average against Milwaukee. I'm probably stacking Milwaukee against him overall. So that's probably where I'm going in this one. And then Quinn Priester comes in against St. Louis, splits-wise 3.65 ERA. When he pitches at home, he's got a 4.21 ERA in 3 starts. Game log-wise, coming off a really good game against the Atlanta Braves. Cincinnati, kind of a good game, even in that terrible ballpark for pitchers. So I might take a flyer on him because he's 6,800. But if you guys aren't, I don't think I want Michaelis at all. No one has a home run against Priester. Cardinals bats against righties like Ivan Herrera makes a ton of sense for your catcher. Alec Burleson batting 303. Brendan Donovan is batting 346. Mason Wynn batting 280. Victor Scott batting 273. Lars Nootbaar 229. Like, there's a lot to like about this game, batting-wise. St. Louis as a stack, I do not mind, especially the guys I just talked about. Milwaukee against Michaelis, like Rhys Hoskins has 2 home runs. Churio has a home run. Terang has a home run. Christian Yelich has a home run. William Contreras is batting 7 for 14. Contreras this year, I would use him. I would use Rhys Hoskins. I would stack with Terang, with Christian Yelich, Sal Frelick, Jackson Churio. This tells me Milwaukee as a 2+ stack on a Sunday makes a ton of sense for me. Pittsburgh at Chicago Cubs, you got Mitch Keller versus Colin Ray. So Colin Ray comes in. He's not really doing a ton. Sub-4 ERA now. You can see, like, hasn't really done much lately. It's been a minute. Splits wide. Now, Pittsburgh is a terrible team. He went 6 innings against them, 2 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts with 13.9. I don't want anything to do with that. Mitch Keller against the Cubs has not faced them this year. In his career, 108 plate appearances, 322. The Pirates are a bad team. They're really not giving run support. I don't trust Mitch Keller. I'm looking at the Cubs as a stack here. PCA is my number one. Just absolutely destroying pitching this year so far. If you look at PCA just overall this year, he's batting 272, but against righties, he's batting 310 with 14 home runs. Mitch Keller, you do see Ian Happ has 3 bombs against him. Kyle Tucker's 2 for 2 with a home run. I would put those 2 together along with PCA. I would look at Dansby Swanson, who's batting 248 with 9 bombs. You got Michael Busch batting 284 with 11 bombs. Carson Kelly, I bet he gets this start, 258 batting average, 8 home runs there. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at pitching here. I'm looking at the Cubs. If we're looking at Pittsburgh, because maybe Colin Ray doesn't have it, Henry Davis has a home run against him. Nick Gonzalez has a home run. And Brian Reynolds has 2, batting 571. But then if we look at batter splits, you can see they do hit righties well. O'Neal Cruz, 261, 12 bombs. Okay. Cabrian Hayes, 242 with 2 bombs. I would look at McCutchen. I would look at Brian Reynolds. IKF batting 312. No home runs, but maybe it gets on base machine there. He's got an OPS of 763. Nick Gonzalez has an OPS of 875, while O'Neal Cruz has an OPS of 914. So I think this could be a high-scoring game. Vegas has over under 7.5. I'm leaning more towards the Cubs. I don't want the pitching. I think a Pittsburgh stack could be sneaky today. Could be. We'll see. We'll have the ownership percentages on stacks when we run 20,000 sims. And then the final game of the main slate, we're not 100% sure who it is. It's Aaron Savali for the White Sox. He asked to be traded from the Brewers. They traded him to the White Sox. Yeesh. Talk about holy airball, if you guys know what that trend is right now. You know what? I might try to make a video of that. So you look at this. Him on the road, 6.57 ERA, not ideal. Texas, their offense has been kind of lackluster this year. I kind of probably like Texas here. I would look at Josh Smith. I would look at Wyatt Langford. Wrong one. I would stack against Aaron Savale. We don't know if it's Tyler Mahle. It is his turn in the rotation, but he had some arm discomfort in his last start, so I could see him getting pushed back. It could be Kumar Rocker. If it is Kumar Rocker for tournaments, I don't mind him because it's the White Sox, but we don't know. So we know it's Savale. He has not really pitched as well as we would have liked, especially on the road. I would look at Texas bats. So Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford. I would look at Josh Smith. Depending on who's catching, maybe Jonah Heim if he's in there. Marcus Semien could be in there as well. Just kind of wait for that lineup to come out. I'm just guessing it's not going to be Tyler Mahle. And if it is, then we look at the White Sox bats. And again, it just depends on the lineup that comes out. So Meadroth you could look at. You could look at Luis Robert if he isn't hurt by the time this video comes out. Benintendi you could look at. Kyle Teal if he gets the start at catcher today. Because if it's Mahle in there and he's not 100% healthy, it could spell disaster, kind of like what we saw in his last start. So that's the main slate done. Now we have a 2-game afternoon slate I'll cover real quick. San Diego at Arizona, Nick Pivetta versus Merrill Kelly. Pivetta overall, 61 plate appearance, 222. The problem is, so Pivetta comes in, pitching very well, 3.48 ERA, 6-2 record, 79 Ks, coming off a terrible start against the Dodgers. Bad start against San Francisco, great start against Pittsburgh. Splits-wise, he has not faced Arizona. In his career, 61 plate appearances, basically 3 or 4 starts, maybe 5 starts total. I'm a little bit weary to use him. Especially, I won't even play this slate, to be honest with you. 2-game slates kind of stink. For DFS purposes, I wouldn't use pitching. I would stack on both sides. San Diego, Tatis, Machado, depending if he's in there. Gavin Sheets, Cronenworth if he gets in there. It depends on the lineup out there. Jose Iglesias makes some sense. Flip side of that, Arizona, you got Josh Naylor, Ketel Marte. Probably my 1-2 there. If you want to look a little bit, Eugenio Suarez makes sense. Perdomo makes sense for my stack for Arizona. Anyone's had success, like Suarez has a home run, but that's it. Against righties, though, they are hitting very well. So Gabriel Moreno could be in there for your catcher. Marte, Naylor, Suarez, Corbin Carroll with 17 bombs, 271 batting average, steals, bases, a 1,008 OPS. So you love to see that in that game. I pitching-wise, I'm off of. And then the final game that we can play that's not the solo Sunday night baseball game, Cleveland at Seattle. You got Luis L. Ortiz versus Emerson Hancock. Ortiz comes in, 4.26 ERA. Splits-wise, when he's on the road, he's got a 5.40 ERA in 7 starts. Not a good start against the Reds, which is wild. Great start against the Yankees. They won 4-0 in that game, had 7 strikeouts. He's got flashes of great stuff, and Seattle strikes out the 4th most out of any team, so that's definitely something to look at. At 7,000, I'm okay with that. And then Emerson Hancock comes in, 5 ERA. 13 plate appearances against Cleveland, 167. That's not much. We stacked against him last time. We took Arizona. They only gave us 2 earned runs, but he only got 7.9, so it wasn't an ideal situation for him. Just our stack didn't really do much. And Cleveland overall, I mean, you can see when he pitches at home in 5 starts, 7.5 ERA. So I would be looking at this game right here. I think I'd stack Cleveland a little bit more. Against right-handed pitching, I mean, just look at these numbers. So Santana, batting 256 with 7 bombs. Schneemann, batting 248 with 7. Stephen Kwan, batting 330 with 6 home runs. Manzardo has 7 bombs, but only batting 201. Jose Ramirez has 296 batting average with 10 home runs. Austin Hedges or Bo Naylor. David Fry also has catcher eligibility, but if it is Bo Naylor, he does have 8 home runs, but he's only batting 190, so it's not a ton. If you think Luis Ortiz doesn't have the stuff today for whatever reason, Cal Raleigh's been absolutely on fire. Always something to look at there. J-Rod also has a home run against him. And then other ones against righties. Rowdy Tellez batting 226. You've got J.P. Crawford batting 319 with 3 home runs. Dylan Moore batting 244 with 3 home runs. Jorge Polanco has slowed down a little bit. Overall, Polanco 259 batting average, 10 bombs, but we look at that, .259 batting average, and it's been kind of a slow time for him. That's always one that you really never know what you're going to get there. I think I'll have a little bit of exposure to Luis Ortiz. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of the main slate and the 2-game afternoon slate. You have the very early game, and then you have the Sunday Night Baseball game that we will have a full video breakdown for you, so make sure you check that out. Now we're going to look at all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. Number 1 is Aaron Judge. Number 2 is Mookie Betts. Number 3 is Ronald Acuna. Number 4 is Gleyber Torres. 5 is Brent Rooker. 6 is Isaac Paredes, but I don't think he plays. 7 is Jose Ramirez. 8 is Juan Soto. 9, Spencer Torkelson. 10, Stephen Kwan. 11, Nolan Schanuel. 12, Matt Olson. 13, Jose Altuve. 14, Jeremy Pena. 15, Pete Alonso. 16, Christian Walker. 17, Yonder Diaz. 18, Brandon Nimmo. 19, Zach McKinstry. 20, Brian Reynolds. 21, Jake Myers. 22, Carlos Santana. And 23, Victor Caratini. So through 10,000 sims, Houston might be my favorite stack of the day. Big numbers there. Out of all of those, something to look at. So moving on to pitches be crazy. I don't agree with most of these, but these are the bottom 5 teams and the pitchers going against them. Number 1, Cade Povich versus the Angels. Angels strike out 9.76 times per game, 9.59 on the road. Number 2 is Chris Sale. Chris Sale versus the Rockies. The Rockies strike out 9.51 times per game, 9.71 on the road. Max Fried versus Boston. Boston strikes out 9.28 times per game, 8.38 at home. Number 4 is Luis L. Ortiz at Seattle. Seattle strikes out 8.88 times per game, 8.97 at home. And finally, number 5 is Wade Miley at Detroit. Detroit strikes out 8.83 times per game, 8.61 at home. But I don't trust Wade Miley. I would look at Detroit bats. I don't really trust Povich much. And I don't trust Miley. I do trust Chris Sale, Max Fried, and Luis L. Ortiz more so than the other ones. So now we are going to look at all of the batters we think could get you 2+ bases. I wouldn't parlay all these together, but you can parlay some of them. Number 1 is Aaron Judge. Number 2 is Shohei Ohtani. 3 is Luis Ariz. 4 is Brent Rooker. 5 is Jeremy Pena. 6, Nolan Schanuel. 7, Jose Altuve. 8, Gleyber Torres. 9, Mookie Betts. And finally, 10 is Stephen Kwan. So you could look at some of those. I wouldn't parlay all 10 of them, but you could, I guess. And those are all for 2+ bases or over 1.5 bases. And then strikeouts. This is where we want to see some strikeouts. Chris Sale, if you can find a line for 8+ strikeouts, smash it. I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Sale gets double-digit strikeouts in this game. Number 2 is Zach Wheeler versus Toronto. 7+ strikeouts I would look at. Number 3 is Cade Povich, only because it's the Angels. 6+ strikeouts I would look for. Max Fried, 6+ to 7+ strikeouts if you can find that line. Luis Ortiz, 6+ strikeouts. And finally, if you can find another one here, Dustin May versus the Giants. If you can find 5+ strikeouts, I'm okay with Dustin May. So there you have it. That is the breakdown of all of the games, the 2 slates, the main slate and the afternoon slate. That is your matchup tool, all the batters with 10 out of 10. That is your pitches be crazy and your Makin bacon bets. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic Sunday. We've got NASCAR. It's on the website, depending on when you watch this. The article or the cheat sheet's already out there, most likely, depending on what time you watch this. The lineups are also there, so hopefully you guys are rocking and rolling. Let me know how you did on MMA on Saturday, because we had that. Let me know how you're doing in the U.S. Open. Terrible greens, or terrible roughs, just terrible. Terrible course. It's not even fun to watch. Let me know how you did baseball-wise, DFS-wise, sports betting. It doesn't matter. Hit us up down below. Also, check out our absolutely free Discord. We give out some core plays there, some value plays, and some of our favorite stacks as well. Good luck on this Sunday. Have a fantastic day. And as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.